Hello and welcome to Eat Sleep Code, the official Telerik podcast. Let's start with a little bit of GitHub Copilot, it looks like. So 4 ways GitHub engineers use GitHub Copilot. So a little dog fooding article it looks like we got here.
Yeah, I mean, Copilot and these LLMs are so open-ended, right? They're so generic that I think people are looking for guidance maybe on how do I use this thing? I've got this extension installed and I don't know what to do. So this is a sort of anecdotal blog post sharing the sort of what we're doing with it. So Copilot obviously is a coding capability, AI assistant for VS Code, etc. And so they're using it to do what you would expect they would do. So semi-automating repetitive tasks, avoid getting sidetracked. So this is an interesting, as it says, an interesting use case from a colleague. So using regular expression to identify when comments are deleted, for example. Structuring data-related notes. So that's always a useful one, especially for issues. And then exploring and learning. This one's always interesting in that sense. So these are some ideas that you could use for Copilot yourself if you chose to download and install it.
Boy, I don't know about the whole let Copilot generate a regular expression part. Like, I feel like this is just going from 1 problem to 3 problems really fast.
All right.
I don't know, like, Copilot is great and all, but it doesn't mean that it's correct any certain percent of the time.
Yeah.
These AI tools, they've been known to be error prone, and if it's going to be
sure.
in a regular expression on top of it, I don't know if I want to be the one troubleshooting that.
Well, the good news there is that you can test it pretty easily. So you may not have a perfect solution or a perfect expression, but you can always chuck it into one of many regular expression sites that are out there to test it.
Yeah, there are some good ones. Are there any built into IDEs like Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code? I haven't ever
there's extensions.
used any of those extensions, but I've used some of the web-based tools. It's not often that I find myself writing expression trees, or I mean, what do you call them?
Regex.
Regexes. Yeah. Think of the wrong programming paradigm there. But yeah, I don't write those too often either. It's like 2 of the things you use very seldom. Let's see. So let's move on to introducing Buildkite hosted build agents. This sounds like CI/CD stuff, John, and belongs in your bucket.
I'm a fan of Buildkite, and they've recently added or recently updated their release page. There's their Q1 2024 release. Bunch of features listed here. Buildkite is a very popular CI. I would classify them more of a CI solution. So they've done a lot of work around their agent infrastructure. So classic sort of example where you install agents. Octopus works the same way. We call them workers, but basically it's a piece of software that runs on a remote machine that coordinates builds, in this case with Buildkite. So now you can have Linux and Mac builds through their agents, for example. They've got other capabilities like things like pipeline templates. They've got insights through Cypress. So they've got lots of new capabilities in the solution as well. I love their What's New page. This is the thing that I like the most. Is their features aside, their What's New page is probably the prettiest What's New page I've ever seen from a product team.
Is that the whole page here, or
the entire page is What's New?
Okay, that's what we're on.
So if you just keep scrolling, it's like all the new features, and they've done a really beautiful job of articulating it.
Nice.
So this is all their Q1 2024 release.
Very cool. Thanks for bringing us up to date in the CI/CD world.
It's more than just that, but there you go.
I am oblivious to what's happening there. So I keep you in my back pocket, John, for when I need to be in the know.
All right.
I myself am a .NET guy, and there's a lot of .NET news this week. Hey, Thindle, welcome to chat. We've got some announcements in the Visual Studio space, some things going on in .NET with Aspire and whatnot. So it looks like they've got a new Copilot experience in Visual Studio. I think you added this as well, John.
This is their preview 3 release, and they've added some new capabilities, code completions, inline chat, chat window integration, for example. These are all now available to you through Visual Studio 17.10. Their preview, and it's integrated there, so you can take a look at that. So if you're of the fan base that likes Copilot and you want to utilize it within VS, there's some new capabilities available in the extension now.
I have to actually give this a try out. I've not used Copilot integrated into Visual Studio myself yet. So I've been very wary of adding these things. I don't know.
Well, this one comes shipped with 17.10 now, so
I'm getting it whether I like it or not. That's what you're saying.
It's a foie gras installation. You're just gonna, shove it down your throat. There you go.
Let's see. So that's on the preview channel. I need to check
Correct.
my Visual Studio preview, which you can't see it, but I can. I have the preview icon on the test desktop right here. So
There you
I'll
go.
have to check for updates there. I've been busy on my laptop where I do a lot of my writing, so I've been working from there, and I don't think I have preview on that machine. Some other .NET news this week. .NET Aspire Preview 5 is out, and it looks like this is a pretty extensive update. So if you're doing anything with .NET Aspire, look out for breaking changes. I heard that is one of the things that is part of this release. Has been a lot of reconfiguring and moving of things and model changes and so on and so forth. So, it is in preview. These things are to be expected, but I think this is going to be one of those not as easy to migrate versions of Preview 5 or as .NET Aspire. So I haven't tried this out myself yet, but I was just reading through some of the important notes here. It looks like some of the things that they did with this were around security, password management, and generation. All of these services that you're plugging into the Aspire pipeline, a lot of them have different API keys, developer credentials, things like that that have to be added in. And there was a lot of like automatic generation that was happening, and it would do it at random. And now there's an interface here to let you specify like your own builder for that. So they're just thinking through these problems and adding more features about plugging in these services and configuring them, including the security points in there. Dashboard got an upgrade. The logging got an upgrade. Some new visualizations in there. It's a really big, extensive update. Some Visual Studio tooling stuff in there. This update just crosses the spectrum of everything. So if you're into .NET Aspire, which is a cloud microservices orchestrator pattern for .NET, looks like some pretty cool stuff. One of my friends, David Pine's working on the docs team for that, and I know he's been really busy with this. So make sure you give it a look if this is something that you're into.
Very cool.
Speaking of things that I'm into, the .NET Blazor hybrid roadmap is out for .NET 9. And Beth Massey was on the ASP.NET community stand-up this week, talking about their plans for Blazor hybrid and the file new project template solution that they're working on.
Oh God, that's always hard.
It is. It's really hard. And one of the things that is especially hard for this is they want to incorporate a file project or a file new project solution for not only Blazor hybrid, but Blazor hybrid plus a web solution. So you have your ASP.NET server that's running Blazor, and then it shares code and views with a Blazor hybrid application, which is a cross-platform web UI that runs natively on your device. So you get kind of the one size fits all solutions of web, desktop, and mobile. Thindle says, I don't mind this. I don't either, but I'm not the one having to write the template for it. So somebody has their work cut out for me. I think Beth said Elon Lipton is working on that. He's been heavily involved with .NET MAUI from the get-go and Blazor Hybrid. So looking forward to see what they do with that. They've got until November when .NET 9 ships, which, believe it or not, really isn't that far away anymore. I hate to start barking up that tree, but I mean we're in April already, so you're talking 5 months down the road. We're going to be looking at .NET 9 staring us in the face. So it is what it is. Speaking of updates in .NET, this is more of a kind of a housekeeping set of updates, security fixes, vulnerabilities, that sort of thing. So if you have applications in production that are using .NET 6, 7, or 8, make sure you update those to the latest point release.
You can now install updates via Winget now.
Oh, look at that. Yes, you can. So for all you sysadmins out there, grab your updates, apply those. And of course, check your Visual Studios for updates as well. And while we're on the topic of .NET, I got a lot of .NET news this week. I just talked about .NET 9 being less than 6 months away. But .NET 8, that means .NET 8 was just about 6 months ago. And there was a lot of changes to ASP.NET Core identity. So this is an article that's up on our Telerik blogs talking about identity and how to implement it. And it goes into quite a bit of detail, actually, on how to do identity in your ASP.NET Core applications using login providers and things like that. And it's, like I said, it's quite extensive. So I'm going to scroll kind of through all of this and just kind of show some of the highlights here. And we're talking about how to integrate with Swagger and everything. So it's the full kitchen sink article on identity and authorization. So if you need to get up to speed on what's new in .NET 9 for that, make sure you take a look. Thindle's asking for the link. I'll drop that into chat. I think that's the one that you're asking for, by the way. Did I catch that comment at the right time to link you to the right article?
I think you did.
I think so too. So yeah, that one's up at the Telerik blogs. If you didn't catch the link on the live show, it was telerik.com/blogs, and it's up there in the top 3 blog posts for this week. And then on to a little bit of JavaScript news. John, you might like this one. This is kind of a little mini library. I thought the blog post title was kind of funny, but it got me actually reading into what they were talking about. And it says, somebody finally fixed JavaScript. I don't know if that's ever going to be possible, John. I don't think you can fix JavaScript. But, I mean, is it broken? Shall we say it is what it is? Like, it's JavaScript's going to be JavaScript. It's like that crazy.
You seem to be saying that
right?
a lot. It is what it is. You seem to be saying that a lot.
It's like that crazy uncle you have. You're just like, that's Uncle Bob. He's going to do what Uncle Bob does. He's not broken. We just accept him the way it is. But anyway, this is a TypeScript tool, or like a mini library, I guess, called Effect.
Yep.
And the idea of Effect here, in my opinion, I'm not an expert on this by any means, but it looks like it takes some ideas from functional programming and observable reactive style programming, and kind of builds a mini library around it. It didn't look like it had a whole lot of functions and things to learn, but it's kind of some simple building blocks. So you can kind of wrap up a big try-catch pattern type of thing with the simple effect type that it comes with. So basically, you're going to get HTTP client, do some work. You're going to get something back and maybe have an error. And there's a couple different patterns for handling like things like retry, observability, things like that. There were some really good examples right here on the main page as well. And, you could kind of see on the with effect side, and this is a beta, by the way, it does kind of shorten up the code, and it does follow kind of that functional programming style. You can see on the left-hand side, we kind of do like the classic console hello world, but on the right-hand side, we're returning a value from console. That smells very functional to me. Like even though console.log doesn't really, it's kind of a void method, we're still returning back something from it. So I kind of get the gist that somebody here likes functional programming. But one of the things that I kind of liked here was the error handling part. And this one, again, follows a pattern that I like to use a lot. And I really wish C# had an either type to it. But this kind of has the idea of an either in here, where you have an effect that's going to do some work that may have a failing error to it, a try type of a situation. And basically you're mapping back the failure or the success to functions that handle either or.
Yep.
So I liked it. I thought it was a nice little library to check out. It has a very core competency here to go through, and didn't look like it was trying to boil the ocean by any means. So give it a look. Give Effect a peep. It's for TypeScript. If you're a big fan, TypeScript, JavaScript, and functional programming, give it a look, see what you think.
It's not the only library out there. There have
Are
been
you sure?
libraries to do the. Yep. Yep. There are a few libraries that do this, but they certainly have one of the nicest looking websites.
Yeah. It's not. It's I like the side by side comparisons here. They're
Sure.
And they run right in the browser. Typical.
Yep.
JavaScripty stuff. But and I mean, you gotta have the obligatory what are users saying and spam lots of tweets or whatever these are across the screen. But no, it's a nice looking website. Something I would check out if I was doing any JavaScript right now. This is something my wife uses a lot, John. I don't know if you've seen this yet. Are you a Spotify user?
Yes and no. But I didn't realize. I know that when I ask Siri, hey, play some music, it will generate for me a playlist based on what I've listened to.
Interesting. I'm not an Apple user, so I don't know. I don't know what the Siris are capable of. We have one that shall not be named by Amazon, and it basically just farms out half the stuff it does to other services anyway. So it does the Spotify connection for us, but.
Yeah.
My wife uses this auto DJ feature that they released about 6 months to a year ago. It's really popular with her. It makes it sound pretty much like a radio station when you're listening to Spotify. It's got like an AI generated voice that's kind of a combination between like Ice-T and a radio disc jockey. That's the only way to explain it. But she loves it. I'm not a big fan. The whole point of me listening to streaming music is so I don't have to hear like the DJ guy. It's 12 o'clock past the top of the hour, and we're listening to somebody that you would rather hear than me. So to each their own. But apparently you can do an AI playlist now based off of like word-based prompts instead of just the AI DJ like queuing off of songs that you already queued up. So this is kind of taking it a step further. And I like stuff like this because of the discoverability of it.
Yes.
So
yes.
It was probably, boy, I don't want to date this, but it had to be almost 10 years ago. I was painting my house, which we just got done doing again like about a month ago. So it had to have been about 10 years ago when Pandora, Spotify, I think Microsoft had one at the time. What was it? Microsoft Groove. and some of the other ones were out. And they just did a decent job of like auto DJing things, like
Yeah.
based off of, your last
They
10
would
picks or whatever.
they would shuffle your library. That would be about it.
They went more beyond that. I think when Pandora came out, it at least did some, context matching or something, pick things from a genre or whatever. But I was painting the house. I was not paying attention to this thing, and it went off on its own and was picking music for me. And I ended up just sitting there with, like, on my phone as things came up while I was painting that I liked, but I never heard before, and just like smashing the like button and creating a queue out of that, and found probably about 5 bands I had never actually sat down and listened to before, and ended up liking a lot just because of like the discoverability aspect of it. So I like stuff like this. I think this is cool if it's gonna, pick things based on some of your likes and dislikes, and find new music for you that you may, maybe new music and maybe somewhat older music, but still, things you haven't heard but like. I think that's really cool. I know people get stuck in the music rut. Like there was some kind of study or something I was reading about that people peak like with their music tastes at, in their teens, and there's something that has to do with your brain development, where people stop searching for new music after a certain age. They kind of get stuck in like this mode of, well, nostalgic mode, I guess, where they're like,
Nice.
the 90s were the best music. That was like, the years you were a teenager listening to music. At least for me, it was. So break that trend, branch out a little bit, find some new stuff, try out these new AI features and see what's there for you. And while you're at it, check out the Dune
Oh yeah.
Broadway musical.
Oh wait, so let me give you some context here. So Udio, I can't pronounce this right. Udio, I think. So I guess it's like an homage to radio, but you are the radio basically. So this is an AI, generative AI for songs. And I don't think this is copyright or anything like that. So you can go ahead and play it, I think. But it's basic. This is Dune, the Broadway musical. And you can provide lyrics and all that. This was auto-generated by AI. It's actually quite good.
Okay, everybody is hearing it. Okay, so you're
Come on, you missed the chorus.
Is this something that we can just create our own
yes
music with? Oh,
you type
so we
into
could
the prompt. So here, go to the login.
I gotta sign
and
in
then
to do it.
I'll walk you
Hang
through
on.
this. Yeah, it's fine. You can sign in, and then go to the prompt at the top.
Oh, really?
Yeah, whatever.
Do like
just
a whole profile here.
Yeah, just give it a display name. Whatever. Eat, sleep, code.
There.
Yeah, sure. Perfect. All right, good. Now go to the top. Now you can specify your like ChatGPT. You can say what kind of song you want. Now inside you can specify a genre, etc. But then here you can just say auto generate will generate. However, you can also specify custom. So you see that button on the left side says custom. You can specify your own lyrics, and you can tag them. You can say this is the verse, this is the chorus, this is the bridge, etc. And it will incorporate that, and it will generate songs. Now, what's interesting, if you go to the homepage for this, it will actually show you the highest rated songs that have recently been generated, and it's quite good. It's quite. I was rather impressed by what it generated for songs. The melody, the singing, all that stuff was quite good. So
I could co-pilot this and say, write a song about JavaScript.
Yes.
What is this?
I took one of Chris Sells's. Oh, okay.
That's no fun.
So
let's try.
I took one of Chris Sells's very famous songs. Chris Sells is known to have all these famous like .NET oriented lyrics and stuff, and I took the band on the runtime lyrics for I can't remember what it was. Anyways, and just plugged them in there and made actually kind of a good song. So yeah, you just basically it takes a while. It takes about 5 minutes to generate a song, but it will queue it up. Yeah, it will queue it up, and then but there's some ones that are generated. If you go to the homepage, of this. You'll see them listed there, the top listed songs, and there's actually some quite ones. The best one that I liked the most so far is the Dune musical. I thought that was quite good. But there's tons of other songs that are listed there, and they're quite good. Like they're not they include words and singing and all that sort of stuff. So they're actually they don't sound up. It's not like the Six Fingers sort of artifacts. You get some really quite good songs listed there. It's currently free, and you can generate up to 600 songs at the moment.
600 songs. Wow. That's okay. Here we go. So I went over to Copilot. Let's. I don't know if we'll have time for this to generate, but Copilot dished out a JavaScript or
song about
JavaScript, TypeScript, and NPM packages. So I could select alternative rock.
Sure.
Instrumental, custom lyrics. Here we go. It only has
instrumental means no lyrics. Instrumental means no lyrics.
Oh, okay. I see. These are. I gotcha. All right.
And then you click on the play button. Pick your genre, and then click on the play button. It will auto jetting. You'll queue it up.
It's not picking a genre.
Yeah, it does.
Just says suggested tags. Yeah, we'll just hit create. Let's see what happens.
So then it queues it up, and it's been under a bit of load, so it may take a while, but it will it will generate for you those songs, and maybe it's maybe it did it quickly. I don't know. You got titles. That's faster than it was for me yesterday. I think everyone discovered it yesterday and went and hit it like bananas. But you can play the other songs in the meantime. Like if you play one of those staff pick songs, like other than the Dune musical, like Adrenaline Rush, or just start playing some of those.
Oh, it looks like our song is done.
What's that?
That Adrenaline Rush had like a dollar store Imagine Dragons vibe to it.
Okay, there's your song. There, you can play it now. So click on digital, whatever it is, digital symphony. Okay, go ahead and play it. There you go.
There we go, John. We're hits.
A language of browsers that brings life to the page. With functions and promises, it's the modern age.
Getting a very strong, what is it? Smashing Pumpkins, Pearl Jam-esque type vibes. So
Yeah.
There you go.
So does that mean I can go back to my resume and update it with Composer?
Yeah. Ed, you can. This whole software engineering thing can blow over. You can now go and become an artist.
I'm gonna retire.
The true
off
artist
of this.
you were born. The born artist. The artist you were meant to be.
I will be performing this live on Spotify later today.
You got another song there. Just briefly go back and play the other song that was generated. I'm just curious to know what it will sound like.
In the world of code, where logic intertwines, JavaScript dances with syntax so fine. A language of browse, different functions and promises. It's the modern age sage. Oh, JavaScript or TypeScript, together you align. One with freedom.
Yeah, that one's got a little British
not so
punk
good.
to it or something.
That wasn't so good. There you go. But you can do like Broadway musicals and stuff, which is quite funny. So yeah, that's the one I've enjoyed. That was where the Dune one came in.
That was actually pretty
yeah,
entertaining.
That was. So, whatever, have a play, see what it's like. I think it's pretty good.
No,
there's the B sharps.
Fun.
That one's good. So the B sharps one, you see that baby on board? This is an homage to the Simpsons barbershop baby on board.
Oh, okay.
This is all AI generated, all of it.
It's wild. Makes you wonder what they trained all of this on. Like,
I think there's a blog post that explains it.
Yeah, I'd have to look at that. There's a lot of licensing, hurdles to jump through when it comes to
Well,
music.
not really. I mean, this is generative, right? So it's not taking any samples or anything like that. It's
Eh,
all generative. So maybe
yeah.
melodies, maybe, but
There's
I think
already
it's really
been
cool.
there's already been a suit over, was it comedy?
What's the deal with auto-generated?
I think there was somebody that, God, I want to say it was somebody popular too, like Sarah Silverman has
Okay.
sued someone over copyright
Well, I think it's
infringement.
because people were able to recreate like their bits or actual lyrics would spit
Yeah,
out
well,
because there wasn't enough filtering,
I think she was able to trace it back to a book she wrote. So
Oh, I
it
see.
had plagiarized from a book she wrote.
Yeah. Well, there you
So
go. Anyways, I thought this was kind of fun. I mean, have a play, see what you can generate. You've generated 2 JavaScript songs there. Of course, I sent this around to the company. Everyone was like, "Oh, this is hilarious," you know?
oh, this is great. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious about it. Like, let's see if it
Look,
has
Ed,
anything.
everyone has a party pooper. That's why we invited you. All right?
I will do that though. I will always think of, the consequences of everything.
Sure.
I will bike shed it
Just
for sure.
Buzz. Maybe you should
Missing
generate a
tracks.
song entitled Buzz Killington, because that certainly is the role you're
Womp
playing right now.
There used to be a great SNL sketch called Debbie Downer. If you
Yes,
don't
I
know what
know.
I'm talking about, you
Yes.
have to Google it and watch
Wah,
it.
wah.
My wife will do that to me all the time. She'll do the sad trombone. She's like, Debbie
Yes.
Downer. I'm like, shut
Yeah.
up.
There you go.
All right. I think that's all we got for this week, John. Lots of .NET news. Are we being rated? We got quite a good viewer count popping up here. Like right as we're, queuing up the end of the show, it's jumping up about.
Gotta end
Doesn't.
with the Dune musical.
All right, let's end with
play
some
us out.
Dune music. Gotta play us out. Let's see. Are there more than one song in here? No, it's just the one. It's been a great show, John. Let the Dune Broadway musical play us out. We'll be here next week on the same day and time for another Eat Sleep Code official Telerik podcast. Until then, the sound of the Broadway.